This one gets lost in the mix for a lot of gamers in the 8-bit era. Often seen as a Space Harrier clone, I, Stuttering Craig, am here to tell you that is not the case, my friend. Totally different! Well, not really, actually. I'll give you the whole fighting a dragon at the end of the level thing, but there are actually some pretty good differences between the two. Like in Space Harrier, you can move all around the screen, and in 3D World Runner, you cannot. And besides, if copying a game was never allowed, Nintendo would have never made the US version of Super Mario Bros. 2. Doki Doki Panic. And on top of all that, they later made a crap-ass version of Space Harrier for the NES anyways. If you ask me, it needs a little blast processing. So what kicked ass about 3D World Runner? Well, for one, it's in 3D. By hitting select, you have the very unstable third dimension mode and a wide assortment of things flying at you in 3D. Beware, there are some side effects though from wearing those glasses. Most notably, spastic movements, unrecognizable gibberish, and the clap. And you look stupid. Even if you don't have 3D glasses to play this game, it's incredibly fast-paced, so that's a good thing for all you ADDers out there. And here's a fun fact. Did you know the same people who brought you Final Fantasy also designed this game? Interesting. So what sucks about 3D World Runner? Well, the invincibility is a joke. It's short and unsatisfying, just like Tom Cruise. But other than that, not a whole lot. It's actually a really fun game, and I suggest you checking it out. It's 3D World Runner for the NES.
Big Nose the Caveman on Nintendo. This was a terrible name for a game, but it was absolutely brilliant because it was unlicensed. Now, the gameplay is so easy, even a... So you're a bored-ass caveman with a huge nose. What else are you gonna do besides think about food? And why not chicken? Well, we're on the chicken run on Paradise Island, and we have to battle off all sorts of dinosaurs. Now, the gameplay's okay. If you get too close to things, it's just instant death. But you know what? When you get the rocks to throw, it's not that bad. You can actually go through and hit them from pretty far away. Now, does anybody else think this guy looks like Captain Caveman? You know what I'm talking about. Captain Caveman?
Captain Caveman!
Now, as you can see, it's a standard platformer with sweet lightning effects when you hit to the bosses. Man, that was sweet. Hopefully you don't have epilepsy. This is a huge Hanna-Barbera ripoff. You can't tell me this isn't Dino you're fighting right here. He looks exactly like him, maybe just a little color difference. Let's get this straight. You're killing all these animals to find a pterodactyl. You're risking your life. This pterodactyl must be the tastiest piece of meat ever. On Paradise Island, every once in a while you hit these huts and they have power-ups. Faster clubs, lightning, even invincibility. That's kind of cool. There are also cool secrets. If you jump in the right place, hit the right rock, all of a sudden you go to the top of the screen, fly across the screen, and whiz through all the levels. Big Nose is so badass, he can use his club to fly. Now, if I was buying any unlicensed game, this one is actually pretty long, and one of the better ones. So hopefully this one comes to Virtual... Oh wait, it's unlicensed.
Always known for its innovation, Nintendo has had its hits and its misses. Mario Paint is kind of a mixture of both. Either you loved it or you thought it was a glorified Microsoft Paint with Mario's grill slapped all over it. Regardless, for only $60 in 1992, you got yourself the SNES mouse and hours of virtual paint to impress your friends with. Here's a fun fact. Did you know the mouse actually worked with close to 60 SNES games? Now you can attempt to paint, animate, and even compose in Mario Paint. And I do mean attempt. Now in the painting you've got all these tools and colors to play with, and you're supposed to be able to make cool stuff that looks like this. But most of the time it ends up looking like this piece of crap. Now if you're not much of an artist, you at least have the coloring book option. But then again, if you're not much of an artist, why the hell are you playing Mario Paint to begin with? Moving on to the music. Much like the painting, if you have the artistic ability, you can make all sorts of rad things that sound like the demo. But if not, you end up sounding like a musical mangled version of this guy.
Hadouken!
Now, if all else fails and you suck at life, I mean the artistic side of things in Mario Paint, it does have something for you. ScrewAttack. It's pretty much whack-a-mole, but you know what? A fly swatter taking out flies, shooting other flies out of its ass is pretty damn fun. Now, if you've never played Mario Paint, it's pretty rad for 1992. But compared to Photoshop and all the cool things we have today, it's not that great. But you do get a mouse for only 60 bucks.
Contra Force on the NES, most of you probably have not played this game. And be thankful. This game is terrible. I don't know why they could even consider this a Contra game. It makes me want to dry heave. Unlike the popular Contra series, this one has nothing to do with aliens. Instead, it has a terrorist plot. You have 4 players to choose from, with some sweet names like Burns, Smith, Iron, and Beans. Each one of these guys has their own set of weapons. It has a Gradius-style level-up system for your weapons. It kind of sucks out the fun. I want to go through and I just want to blast people with all the arsenal that Contra has. Not in this one. You have to build it up, and as soon as you die, you start right back over again. The game has some serious lag issues. I don't know what to tell you. They really did something wrong with this game. It does have 2 players just like normal Contra, but it's so slow, so hard to jump, it's not any fun. Now, there were some interesting secrets in the game. First of all, why the hell is there not the Konami code in this game? Instead, you just have to hold B and start at the intro screen and you get extra lives. It's retarded. I want the Konami code. There's also another cheat where you pause the game while you're jumping, hold down the jump button, and you just keep jumping. You can go jump as high as you want. It really helps on some of the levels, but you really don't even want to play this game. It's that stupid. It's cheesy. It sucks. I have no idea why it goes for so much on eBay. If you still have it laying around, sell it on eBay.
Kid Chameleon was hyped as a huge game for the Genesis, and for the most part, it was. Little backstory here. Alright, this new arcade game is allowing players to go inside of it and is actually capturing them when they lose. Luckily, there is somebody too tough to beat. Someone known as... pause for dramatic effect. Kid Chameleon. Quite possibly the coolest 5 frames in video game history. Nope, that's much cooler. Kind of think of yourself as Lucas from The Wizard, just way cooler.
I love the Power Glove.
So on your quest to save the captured kitties, you can change into a number of different things along the way. Like a knight, a samurai, a guy in a spiked football helmet with a rat tail, and a skull guy in a tank that shoots skulls that bounce off the walls. You know, the basics. If you're looking for a challenge, you have it. Kid Chameleon is both tough and crazy long, and when you throw in the fact that there are no codes, no save points, and no cheats, you've got yourself a little doozy. Well, there is one cheat, but it takes you all the way to the last boss, and it skips literally the entire game, so what's the point of using it if you just bought it? By far one of the most overlooked classics on the Genesis, if you're down for a little 2D platform action, and why the hell wouldn't you be, Kid Chameleon makes you long for the days of simple games about a cool kid saving other kids in a giant kidnapping arcade game. Companies come out all the time with mascots to try to be cool or hip to the young demographic, and if you ask me, it's pretty damn sad. 7-Up decided to capitalize on their overwhelming success of, well, their red dot by slapping on some sunglasses and giving it some tood. It eventually got its own game, Cool Spot.
Hey!
What the crap are you?
I'm Screwy, the ScrewAttack monkey. Management said you're not cool enough, so that's why I'm here.
What? Get the hell out of the game vault. So Cool Spot. It's actually not that bad. It's a pretty standard platformer like Mario or Sonic where you go around collecting dots to save your friends.
That's stupid. ScrewAttack's awesome.
Hey, we don't need a self-promoting monkey. Leave! So what made Cool Spot decent?
That game sucks.
The music. It actually won a couple Best Music Awards in '93. It's pretty amazing to see how far music and gaming has come since then.
It's amazing to see how far you've come since then.
But that doesn't even make any sense. Just get the hell out of here.
Pussy.
Freaking monkey, damn it. Cool Spot is a fun game. If you're down with games like Earthworm Jim, you'd probably like this one, mostly because they're coded by the exact same guy. Now with that being said, the game itself is a giant, shameless plug. You remember those red dots? Yeah, well, they're actually 7-Up spots, and you go around collecting them trying to make yourself cooler than you already are. And you drink 7-Up to gain more energy. I think people saw right through it.
ScrewAttack's cool!
Please kill me.
General Chaos on the Sega Genesis, one of the few games that uses the 4-player option. The game was okay single player, but a little hard to control because of the selection pointer. When you play multiplayer, co-op, or versus, it's all action.
Oh God! Oh God! Oh!
With co-op, you can move around freely, which makes it much cooler. You get to select your squad of badasses, and then it's time to rumble. When you get too close to an opponent, it's time for a fight.
Fight!
If you're too cheap, it will backfire and you will be shot. If you're victorious, you can kick them in the nuts. I know the game didn't look like much, but when it came out, it was the bomb. I like to compare this game to The Outfit. It might have had cheesy cutscenes with weird-looking boobies, and the flamethrower guy was definitely unbalanced and was way more powerful than the others, but that's what made it great. If you're looking for an ass-kicking 4-player Genesis game, and who isn't, this game rocks. Nights into Dreams, considered one of the greatest classic games on the Sega Saturn. Even Miyamoto is quoted saying, "If there is any one game I wish I had made, it would have been Nights." Now that says a lot coming from the creator of Zelda. This is a 2D and 3D game about children in a dream. It has a cool looking jester character aiding them. When you start the game, something takes some of your orbs away, so you go to the aid of Knights. Now this is where the fun begins. You are in a fast-paced environment, flying around to collect enough blue orbs to defeat the monster that holds the stolen orbs. As you're flying around, you can pull off 36 different tricks. They do not do anything special in the game, but they do look cool and are fun. It is a timed game. If you're not fast enough and run out of time, you turn into the kids again and have to collect orbs before an alarm clock gets you. The game has a cool optional 3D controller. I'm not sure why they called it a 3D controller, but it did finally offer the Saturn an analog stick, which makes the game much easier to control. They've only made one other Knights game, and it was an old-school Tiger Electronic handheld game. Sweet. There is a rumor that Knights 2 is coming soon on the Wii. I can't wait to see what fun things they will add if this rumor is true. If you already have this game, you know it rocks. If not, pick it up soon.